Visionaries, dreamers, and warriors of destiny. I've come to speak into your spirit today about a force so powerful, so unstoppable, that it can take you from the pit of despair to the pinnacle of purpose. That force is the power of self-belief. Let me tell you something. There's a gift inside of you that no one else in this world has. There's greatness in you waiting to be unleashed. But here's the truth. None of it will come to life if you don't believe in yourself. It doesn't matter how big the dream is, how clear the vision is, or how many resources you have around you. If you don't believe in yourself, the dream will stay locked inside of you, buried under fear, doubt, and negativity. The first and most critical step in unlocking the power of self-belief is understanding this. You are responsible for your mindset. Nobody else. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends, not your partner. You. The way you think, the way you perceive challenges, and the way you process setbacks all stem from the choices you make every single day about what to focus on. Now, let me clarify something. Taking responsibility for your mindset doesn't mean ignoring the things that have happened to you. Life isn't fair, and many of us have faced pain, rejection, and failure that we didn't ask for. Maybe someone told you when you were young that you weren't smart enough or good enough. Maybe you've been overlooked, underestimated, or counted out time and time again. That hurts. That's real. But here's the thing. As much as those experiences shape you, they don't have to define you. What defines you is how you choose to respond to them. You see, the moment you blame your circumstances, your upbringing, or other people for why you're stuck, you give away your power. You're essentially saying, I can't control my life because of what someone else did. That mindset will paralyze you. It'll keep you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and negativity. But when you take ownership of your mindset, when you decide that you control your thoughts and not the other way around, that's when everything starts to shift. Think about it this way. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant there will grow. If you let negativity, fear, and doubt take root, they'll grow into a jungle that suffocates your potential. But if you intentionally plant seeds of confidence, hope, and resilience, you'll grow a mindset that empowers you to push forward no matter what comes your way. The question is, what are you planting? This is where most people get it wrong. They let their external circumstances dictate what they think and how they feel. If something goes wrong at work, they think, I'm not good enough. If someone criticizes them, they think, maybe they're right, maybe I'll never succeed. They give their power away to situations and people that have no business controlling their future. And the longer you allow that to happen, the harder it becomes to believe in yourself. So how do you change it? How do you start taking responsibility for your mindset? First, you need to become hyper aware of the thoughts you allow to take up space in your head. Most of us don't even realize how often we're talking ourselves out of our own potential. We're telling ourselves, I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. What if I fail? That inner dialogue is sabotaging your self-belief before you even get started. You've got to learn to catch those thoughts the moment they show up and challenge them. Don't just accept them as facts, because they're not. For example, if your mind says you're not capable, stop and ask yourself, is that true, or is it just fear talking? 9 times out of 10 is fear, and fear has no place controlling your decisions. Once you identify those negative thoughts, you got to replace them with truths. Say to yourself, I am capable. I am worthy. I can figure this out. It might feel awkward at first, but over time, those positive affirmations will reprogram the way you think about yourself. Another part of taking responsibility for your mindset is learning to block out the noise around you. Let's be real. There's always going to be someone ready to criticize you, doubt you, or tell you what you can't do. But here's the thing. they're not living your life. They're not walking in your shoes. Most of the time, their opinions are based on their own insecurities, not your abilities. So why are you letting their negativity dictate how you see yourself? When you take responsibility for your mindset, you stop letting other people's opinions hold you back. You stop waiting for someone else to validate you. You stop blaming the world for why you haven't achieved what you want. Instead, you start focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your attitude. This isn't about pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to believe in yourself even when it's hard, even when you're scared, even when doubt tries to creep in, because at the end of the day, your mindset is the foundation for everything you build in life. Let's talk about negative feelings, the fear, the doubt, the insecurity that keeps you up at night, wondering if you're good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to achieve what you're chasing. These feelings are universal. Everybody has them, and let me tell you right now, they are not going away. No matter how successful you become, no matter how many wins you stack up, fear and self-doubt will always try to sneak in. And so when your vision shifts, but here's the thing, negative feelings are not the enemy. The problem isn't that you feel them. The problem is how you've been trained to respond to them. Most people spend their whole lives trying to avoid negative feelings. They think if I feel insecure, I should back away. If I'm afraid, I'm not ready. If I doubt myself, maybe I should stop. And guess what happens when you let those feelings dictate your decisions? You stay stuck. You never grow. You never take the risks that lead to greatness because you've bought into the lie that discomfort is a sign you're doing something wrong. But let me flip that for you. What if those negative feelings weren't a sign of failure, but a sign that you're on the edge of something great? What if the fear, the self-doubt, and the anxiety were simply growing pains, evidence that you're stepping into a space you've never been before? You see, growth and comfort can't coexist. If you're chasing a big goal, discomfort isn't just inevitable, it's necessary. The secret is not avoiding negative feelings, but learning how to use them. Think of fear, doubt, and insecurity like fire. Left unchecked, they'll burn everything down. But if you learn how to control them, they become fuel that powers you forward. The same fear that makes you want to quit can also be the fire that drives you to prepare harder, to work smarter, and to show up stronger. Let's break it down. Fear, for example, is just energy. It's your brain saying, this matters. This is important. That's not something to run from. It's something to lean into. When you feel afraid, ask yourself, why does this scare me? Most of the time, fear comes from wanting to succeed so badly that the thought of failure terrifies you. And that's not a bad thing. It means you care. It means you're passionate. So instead of letting fear paralyze you, let it push you. Let it remind you that what you're doing matters enough to scare you. Self-doubt is another big one. It creeps in when you start comparing yourself to others or focusing on what you lack instead of what you bring to the table. But here's the truth about self-doubt. It's not a reflection of your actual abilities. It's a reflection of your mindset. The next time you doubt yourself, I want you to stop and ask, what have I already overcome? Think about the challenges you faced, the skills you've developed, and the moments when you thought you couldn't, but you did anyway. Self-doubt loses its power when you remind yourself of what you've already survived and accomplished. And then there's failure, the big scary monster that everybody's trying to avoid. But let me ask you this, why are you so afraid to fail? Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than they can count. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. They saw it for what it is, a lesson, a stepping stone, a necessary part of growth. When you fail, it's not the end, it's data, it's feedback. It's your opportunity to adjust, improve, and come back stronger. But most people don't see it that way. They treat failure like a verdict instead of a teacher. That mindset is what holds them back, not the failure itself. If you can shift your perspective and start seeing failure as fuel, you'll realize that every time you fall, you're one step closer to the win. Let's talk about insecurity. We all have moments when we feel like we're not enough, like we don't deserve the opportunities in front of us. But let me tell you something. Insecurity is often a sign that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone. When you feel insecure, it means you're doing something that challenges you, something that stretches you. That's a good thing. Instead of letting insecurity shrink you, let it remind you that you're stepping into new territory. Let it drive you to prove to yourself just how capable you really are. Negative feelings are not the problem. The problem is the story you tell yourself about those feelings. You tell yourself that fear means you're not ready, that doubt means you're not good enough, that failure means you're not cut out for this. But that's not the truth. The truth is those feelings are part of the journey. They're signals that you're doing something big, something meaningful, something worth fighting for. You have two choices when negative feelings show up. You can let them stop you, or you can let them fuel you. You can let fear keep you in your comfort zone, or you can let it push you into growth. You can let doubt paralyze you, or you can use it as a reminder of how far you've already come. You can let failure break you, or you can let it build you into something stronger. It's not about avoiding negativity. It's about learning how to turn it into the fuel that drives you forward.